Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Nicole Alexis of Study Plan Sleep, and today we're going to be talking about something that a Instagram follower of mine requested. I kind of put up a little question box on my stories saying, what do you want to know more about the CPA? And one person recommended that they wanted to know more about scheduling the CPA exam and just overall tips for the study schedule. Now, I already have a video on creating a study schedule, so go check that out. But this video is going to be more aimed towards knowing personally for yourself when it's time to take your exam and sort of how to schedule it for the future. So with that being said, let's jump right into it and just get started. So I have all of my books right here, and I did that to kind of show that each exam is going to be different for how long you need to study for it, when eventually you're going to need to schedule your exam and whatnot. So I think it's a very good visual representation based on the book size that FAR is going to take the longest to study for, and next up would be Reg, which is this burgundy red color, and then Audit and Business actually took the same length of time. So with that being said, let me explain why. These are really heavy. I don't know if you can see that, but let's just put them off to the side for right now. So I have my Erin Condren Life Planner out right now, and I'm going to be referencing my study schedule and kind of the order and the length of time that I studied for each exam. So I started actually on January 1st of this year. And basically what I recommend, tip number 1 for setting up your study schedule and actually scheduling your exam, is take that first week of truly studying and see how long it takes for you to get through material. So for example, let's go to FAR. FAR, when you look at it, and this is the Becker book, you will have, let's see, okay, so you will have 10 sections, financial 1, 2, 3, all the way to 10. So I want you to go ahead and study how you are planning to study for the rest of your studying days, if you would, and just see how much you can get through. For me, I was able to get through half of one section in a day. And so I was able to complete, I want to say like easily, but a practical, realistic achievement for me was finishing 2 sections each week. Again, I was not working. I did have online classes to finish my 150 credits, but this was my primarily, that's not a sentence. This was primarily my work, was to pass this exam. So with that being said, see what you can finish in 1 week, and then get back to me. If it's only one section or it's only a section each day, so it might take you longer, these are all things that are going to be dependent on you, your study habits, your study schedule, your work schedule, all of the above. So with that being said, I want you to take the first week and see how it goes, and then revisit this video. So now, let's skip ahead a week. How much did you get done? Did you get done 1 section? Were you able to get done 2 sections? Only half a section? All this is important. So based on what you got done in a week, go through the whole table of contents, right? It's a long one, and start writing out your weeks. So for me, let me get a pen. There was a pen right next to me, guys. All right. So for me, I was able to actually do 2 sections in 1 week. So I'm just going to label it week number 1. And this, again, is just a very rough draft, if you would, of how to create a study schedule. I have another study schedule video for a more complete and organized view. So again, week 1, and then week 2 would be 3 and 4. So I'm just going to write week 2. week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. Okay, so basically what this means is now you know that you're going to need at least 5 weeks to get through all the new material. Now again, this may be different for you based off how you found your first week to be, whether you'll only be able to get one section done. That way you'll need 10 weeks to study just for the new material. Regardless, now we have kind of a rough draft of what our study schedule will look like over the coming weeks. Now, with that being said, I highly recommend you to have 2 weeks of review. That is what worked for me. If it's too long for you, that's fine. But I would truly suggest at least having 1 to 2 weeks at the end of your new material to review. Now, if you want to just get it cramped in and do 1 week, that's fine. But I would not do less than 1 week of review. I just don't think that's very good. I don't know your study habits personally, but especially with FAR, there is so much material. By the time you get to Financial 10, you probably forgot what was in Financial 1 unless you've been reviewing this whole time, which it's hard to do with so much material constantly. So again, you're going to want to plan for 1 to 2 weeks afterwards. So that brought me into 7 weeks. Now, if you planned all this out like I just did, add in your review weeks, then you know roughly when you need to schedule your exam. So if we go back again using my rough study schedule, and when I told you I started, which was January 1st, I did 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks. So what I actually did was I took my exam on the 20th. Now, I did this because I lost a few days here. I was also, I want to say, overwhelmed with just starting to study for the CPA in general. My classes at the time were very time consuming. They were condensed courses, so I basically had to fit a semester's workload into 2 weeks, which required a lot of time. But nonetheless, that's when I scheduled my exam, so it was really like 7.5 weeks. With that being said, now that I know that should have been this week or the following week, that's all good. For you, do the same thing. Have your start date when you're going to start seriously studying. Important part is seriously studying. And calculate your weeks out and see where you end up. If you end up at the end of this week, if you end up at the end of this week, let's say that was your 7-week mark, maybe push it to this week just so you have that full weekend to study, you get a good night's sleep, and then you take the test right in the beginning of this week. That's kind of what I did for every exam, was take it the following week just to give myself the weekend to prepare and kind of have like a fresh mindset. So now that we know that we want to either have it this week or this week, as soon as you get your NTS, I want you to create this study schedule, see that first week how it goes, like I said, come back to me, do this whole thing, fast forward, get the NTS, schedule your exam as soon as possible. I cannot stress that enough. I was able to fortunately get the days that I want to get most of the time, but that doesn't happen for everyone, and depending on where you live, there may be limited seating at your Prometrics testing center. So as soon as you figure out your study schedule, again, I recommend doing that as soon as possible, so again, you can schedule your exam as soon as possible. So that was just FAR. If we want to keep going with the rest of the exams, I'll do that really quickly. So next up was audit. Audit had 6 sections. Again, go through. I would say after your first exam, knowing how much you can complete in a week will be pretty transferable, if that's the right word. you'll be able to use that same study method, study techniques into the other exams, so you shouldn't need to take that additional week again. However, little disclaimer, if you're headed into, say, a busy season or a really stressful time in your life, maybe you need to take that extra week to see how long it's going to take you to go through the material. It's all dependent on your life, your circumstances. So again, if you need to take that extra week, take it. So right off the bat, I took a week off after FAR because FAR was so awful. So I didn't start studying for audit until I took this week. So I started March 4th. Again, there were 6 sections, so it took me 3 weeks to get through the new material and an additional 2 weeks of review. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I said 5. So, and then I'm pretty sure I had my exam scheduled on the 9th. If you want to double check that, I did a CPA journey page in my Erin Condren, which was really helpful just to keep track of everything. And I have not updated it. I passed BEC. So you got to check. You got to see me put the check mark down. It's really nice. And I have to fill in when you pass, how do you feel? I've had a very busy 2 months. So test date was April 10th. So let's go back now. And right where I said it was, April 10th. Now, I'm pretty sure I just jumped right into reg. I'm almost certain, but not. Yes, I did. Okay. So the reason why I jumped right into it was I actually had surgery on the 18th. So again, this was something that adjusted my study schedule. I had surgery. They told me I was going to be out of commission for 2 weeks. I was able to only be out of commission for 1 week, but again, I had graduation, I had all of these different things at the end of May. So reg should have taken me, let's say, there was 8 sections, it should have taken me 4 weeks, plus 2 review weeks, which is 6 weeks. So I took my exam, I believe it was the 4th. Let's see. Yeah, I was right. June 4th. So that one took a lot longer than it should have, but I also adjusted my schedule for my life circumstances, if you would. Sorry, the puppy. So again, that's something you really need to consider. You know, I knew my study schedule, what I could get done every week, but I also need to take into consideration, would I really be studying some weeks because I had other things going on? Surgery, I physically could not study. I was on a lot of medication and mostly slept during that week. Then graduation time, I really took those 4 days off to celebrate my graduation, celebrate with my friends. I went back to school. If you don't know that part of my backstory, I graduated a semester early in December, which is the reason why I was able to start in January of my supposed to be senior year. So it was really good. I just wanted to take that time and celebrate our graduation with my friends. These are all important things I want you to consider before scheduling your exam. And that is why it is so important, in my point of view, to make that study schedule. It will help you so much in the long run. Alright guys, with that being said, I think I offered a few good tips. I highly recommend making a page like this. If you would like to check out Erin Condren products, I have a link down below that you get $10 off your first purchase. I'll get $10 back. What else? Like this video, of course. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos. And as always, follow me on Instagram at StudyPlanSleep. I post way more consistently. Alright guys, that's it. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Keep kicking butt on the CPA, and I wish you all good luck on your future exams. Bye!